Hello everybody, I'm Catriona Morten, I'm a sentimotor psychotherapist, and today I'd like to talk to you about narcissists and the effect that either having been in a relationship or being brought up by a narcissist can have on us. But before I get into it, if you're enjoying these videos, then give us a like and subscribe to our channel because it really helps us to get our videos out there and to help more people. So narcissists, or people with a very strong narcissist part. It might not necessarily be their whole personality. They might have a side of them that's very empathic, very kind, very giving, but sometimes we meet people who are just pure narcissists. There doesn't seem to be any other part to them. And the reason that I'm talking about this today is because I speak to people on a weekly basis who have encountered a narcissist, who have either been brought up by one or they've been in a relationship one, and what they find is that nothing seems to make sense. They can't work out what on earth happened, why these things in this relationship just kept going round and round. And what I always say to people who have been affected by a narcissist is you can't work out their means of operating by using our own moral code and our own sense of being a human, because they operate from a very different place to the one that we operate from. And there's some very, very common characteristics, some things that really might help you understand whether or not you're dealing with or have been involved with a narcissist or not. The first thing to say about a narcissist is that they believe everything is about them. So they view everything that goes on through the lens of them and their importance. So let me give you a few examples of that. If they're with people and someone pays someone else a compliment, oh, they're so good at that, or what a lovely person they are. The narcissist, because they believe that everything is about them, hears, you think that person is better than me. And they can't seem to make the distinction between other people and just letting people be and letting them, have the skills, have the things that they're good at, without it feeling like it's a direct insult to them. And when people are given compliments, they somehow feel that that's taking something away from them. And so they can get very, very objectionable about it, very affected, very offended, and have a narrative that doesn't match the narrative that you have. And that narrative can sound something like, oh, did you see the way that they were talking about me? Did you see that kind of insult that came my way? And people around them are like, no, I didn't hear that at all. This will be a consistent thing because they believe that everything is about them and they see others as a threat. They believe that everybody has the same means of operating that they do, that it's a real kind of dog-eat-dog world. And a massive thing for a narcissist is control, because they don't feel like they're in control. If they believe that everybody's out to get them, then the world is a bit of a battleground. And they think that everybody is the same. So they're very, very suspicious of people. And they do this by control. Control comes into everything, but you'll notice it in a relationship where they will just suddenly change the tone or the state or the mood very, very quickly. And often it's like, well, where did that come from? Everything seemed to be going along just fine, and then snap. Either you'll get a criticism or an insult, or the mood just changes. And narcissists like dealing with people who are empathic, because we feel things, we're affected by things, we're easy to control, we can press our buttons, and we usually always think we've done something. And it makes us act and behave in a way that suits the narcissist. They're now pressing our buttons and making us react and behave and question ourselves. The other big thing to know if you're dealing with a narcissist or not is they'll then gaslight. They'll make sure that you really do believe it's all about you, that you really have done something, but you'll never be told what. And this gaslighting is one of the things that makes dealing with a narcissist so unsettling. When people come out of a relationship or they're looking back on their childhood, they often can't make sense of what it was that would suddenly, flip, how things would change so quickly. And the gaslighting, if it goes on for a significant period of time, it can make people feel like they don't know which way is up and which way is down. Because when we react, the narcissist will then tell us that the reason that things always go wrong is because of the way that we react. But we react because we can't get any kind of sense making. We can't get a response that matches our state, our mood, our experience of what's just happened. And the narcissist will often just throw out blanket things like, oh, you're so dramatic, or oh, you're oversensitive, or I don't know what you mean. I wasn't angry. No, I don't know what you mean. Or they will just have really selective memory. I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. They can rewrite history. And it doesn't matter how many people are present and witness the same thing, they will have their own version of it. It will completely be in contradiction to yours and the other people around you, because they see things through a very different lens to the one that we do, which is why we can't make sense of what's happened through our own lens. We have to be able to understand the operating system that comes from the narcissist. Another common feature is narcissists, because they love to be in control, they love bomb. And that can be in a job. They can tell you that you're the most brilliant person ever. Wow, you're so good at this. They really elevate you. If it's at the beginning of a relationship, you'll get hundreds of compliments. You'll be told that you're the best thing ever. Everything will be better than it's ever been before. The narcissist will find what makes you tick and tick those boxes massively to make you believe that this is the most wonderful thing you've ever had. So when it switches and it flips and it turns against you, we want the nice bit back. We want the love bombing. We want to get back to that wonderful place that it was. It might go back there momentarily, but usually it's just to reel you in so that they can then have the maximum amount of impact and control. Because you want to stay in this relationship, or if it's a parent, you want to please them so you get all the affirmation and the attention back that's now been taken away. And that's really, really disturbing because we don't know what it was we did. And so they can be very giving, apparently, and it can look like that, very generous, but it's always on their terms. One common feature of a narcissist is if you need them, if you're ill or if you're in trouble, then they see that as you're now calling the shots. You're now controlling them. And it can make them very, very angry if they have to do something for you and it's not been on their terms. They haven't constructed this thing. And you can get a really negative, quite angry response from them. To you, it won't make any sense because as an empath, you would always want to help others, often before you help yourself. And so this kind of behaviour, it doesn't seem to add up. And that's the thing that's most disturbing, is we can't make sense of it. Nothing adds up. We come out of a relationship and people will be like, I don't know. Was it real? Was it not real? Did they really care about me? Did they not? Often, I've met a lot of women who have been brought up by a narcissist mother, and they'll often tell me the same thing, that up to a certain age, it was brilliant. They were like best friends. They did everything together. It was wonderful. As soon as that person wanted independence and wanted to start moving away from the parent, that's when it became a real problem. And either the narcissist will just cut them off and won't want anything to do with them, or they'll just constantly try and get involved. They'll try and take down all the relationships that they have. They'll try and destroy friendships. They can follow them around all over the place to try and keep them close. But it can be very vindictive and it's very negative by that point. And so often what those people have to do is actually completely disengage and cut off all kinds of contact, because as soon as there's contact, then you start playing the narcissist roles. And before you know it, you're involved in all these mad mind games where you can't work out what's going on. I remember one person that I worked with, and she said when we did a giving and a receiving exercise, just kind of energetic giving and energetic receiving, she said that it actually felt to her as though if she had to give me something and I was going to receive it, it felt like I was actually taking something from her, to the point that it almost felt life-threatening, that she would have nothing left. That made me realise what a torturous place this is for narcissists. They're not happy with it because it's a constant battle of trying to get control, and it never feels like there's enough control. Some narcissists seem to get pleasure out of upsetting people. Others, they just like to change the mood. They just like to keep switching things up, and they'll be very indirect. You'll never know what the rules are because that would be too simple. Then you can play by the rules. The rules will keep shifting, and so one day this is fine and the next day this is not okay. But we can't get any sense from them about why that is the case, because the main thing is to keep us unsettled. And often what people will say is they notice after a period of time that they feel like they're walking on eggshells. They're trying to second guess everything that's about to happen, to try and preempt it, because they don't actually realise what's going on. Once you realise and you are aware that the main aim is to get a reaction from you, if you don't react, then you'll often find that that's quite unsettling for the narcissist. I think it's just really important for people to know what they're up against with this. Try to make sense of what's happened, because when we just use our own way of being as a measurement, it doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to talk about this. This is a big topic and we might do other things on it. And if you have questions and things that you'd like me to cover, then send them in and I'll do that. But I wanted to give you a kind of overview of why it is that you might have felt so completely unsettled and baffled by what's gone on. It might be a friend, it might be a boss at work, it might be somebody that you're in a relationship or have been in a relationship, it might be a member of your family. But I just hope that it helps to make sense of some of those behaviours and what is really going on, and that you're not going mad. So if any of this makes sense and it helps you make sense of things that have gone on for you, then brilliant. You might find that people who have a narcissist part, it only flicks in every now and again and you only see it at certain times. And that can be fine. You can, adapt and learn to live with that. But I just really wanted to give you a heads up of what it is that might be going on in these situations when things really don't make sense. Just have that question mark in your head. Either could this person be a narcissist, or could they have a big narcissist part of them? And it might just help you understand what's going on. So if this has made sense, if you've enjoyed this video, then give us a like and subscribe to our channel, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Okay, bye.